This was the old way to kill flies. This barbaric device that swatted many a child, as well as flies, roaches, spiders, and the like. It works, but it usually leaves an unsanitary insect gut splat. You can still buy these antiques today. The other way that doesn't leave an insect gut splat is it's as nasty. Oh, look at that too, yeah. They're as nasty as in their own right. Let me tell you.
Oh!
You can still buy these antiques today. Ugh. The other way that doesn't leave a gut splat, but is nasty in its own right, are these sticky, nasty fly strips. Let me tell you, this is not something you want to run into. I did it many times as a kid, and it's a sticky, nasty mess, and it has a lot of dead flies in it. It usually gets stuck in your hair, on your neck, and on your arms, on your clothes, and worse, on your face. Ew. So let's talk about some easier ways to get rid of flies. Before we get started, please understand that this is what I do. I'm letting you be a fly on the wall and watch and learn from somebody who's been around the park a few times. But everything in life requires that you take a personal initiative and use common sense in all that you do. So if you don't like what I do, that's no problem. Nobody's gluing your eyes to the screen. Just click away. If you do continue to watch, please use your common sense and figure out a way that it'll work for you. Just don't do it if it's against your personal views or ethics. Think before you act. You don't need to lecture me and the other flies on the wall here on why you personally think it's wrong. We don't care. Please keep that to yourself, and we'll all have a wonderful time. In this video, we're going to talk about 2 outdoor methods of controlling flies that don't involve sticky goo or smashing them on the counters or places where you make your PB&J. I do not recommend using these, either one, inside your home. I have another video covering the various indoor methods. The link is above and in the description. While I'm thinking about it, subscribe to my channel and click the bell icon to be notified each time I release a new video. First of all, boric acid is not an effective killer. For more information on boric acid, what it will and won't kill, see my other videos. The link is above and in the description. Okay, part 1, fly bait. While this isn't something you can mix up on your own for DIY, it is a DIY method of fly control, just like we use on the ranch. Do not use this inside your house. Yeah, you can read the instructions and make a decision logical for your house. We don't use it inside the house, it's just messy. Wear gloves, wash your hands after application. The label says for control of houseflies in industrial, commercial, and agricultural settings. Use your own best judgment and common sense and follow the label instructions. I've covered the brand name on the containers, as we just use the ones that we have on hand right now. The magical awesome sauce is called fly bait or fly control. It can have a small odor of death while in the can, so be careful when you open the can. The smell is gone once you start spreading it around. Fly bait comes under many brand names, so just search the internet for fly bait or fly control. Or, to get it right away, go to your local farm supply store, hardware store. Some of the big box stores carry it too. Farm supply store where I buy it sometimes carries different brands, but they all work the same. Fly bait is very unique, fly control. It's a poison that attracts the flies specifically to it. Once they eat it, they die. Once they're dead, they're not reproducing and making more flies. If you're an alarmist and think that it's wiping out all the insects, truthfully, We don't care. Why? Because the people who need this use common sense, and we all know that we cannot, in any logical real world, wipe out all the insects. Now, depending on where you need this, you can make bait stations, which is an open container for every 250 square feet of coverage, like a plastic lid or a paper bowl or a paper cup cut down. It's where you put about 2 ounces of these little pellets. Place your stations in area where stock animals, pets, children cannot get to. Try to keep it about 4 feet high, as close to the ground as possible, as this is where flies congregate. You can put it higher. I've seen it way up high and they go for it. They smell it. They go. It'll still work in a calm, non-windy area. Refill the bait stations as the flies eat it down. If flies are a big problem, you'll need to stay vigilant and keep it as available, as flies are nomads and new ones will always be coming to see what you've got to eat. Note, this only attracts flies. It doesn't attract any other flying insects. Alright, where to put it? Put it in shady, non-windy areas, as fewer flies will stop to get and taste if there's much wind or sun. Put it near big fly attractors, like trash piles, dumpsters, animal stalls, or any area that flies are attracted. Use this around the exterior of food-producing animal pens, cages, and stalls, but not where they can get to it. This is legal to use in every state, including the most restrictive states like California and New York, and it is legal to use in open food production areas like milking parlors, broiler houses, cage laying houses, canneries, beverage processing plants, open food processing facilities, bakeries, etc. But I would not advise using it inside your home. But if you do, use common sense. In commercial locations, everyone knows where it is, and it's up and out of the way, out of reach. But let's just say that your bait station on your refrigerator, and someone comes along and knocks it off. You'll have this poison mess all over. You know, we even keep a small can in our camper to keep the flies away while camping. But here's what has almost become my motto, certainly my disclaimer. Ready? Use common sense in everything that you do. Alright, subscribe to my channel, click the bell icon to be notified every time I release a new video. Now, let's get to the stinky way of doing it. Okay, part 2 is about bringing them in with a very stinky smell, trapping and drowning them. This part has 2 sections, DIY from scratch and the commercial option. Okay, the DIY made from scratch way. All of this is in the description. You'll need 1 fatal funnel, an empty milk jug, preferably not washed, and hopefully it's sour. You can use anything similar size, but I like milk jugs because it has a lot of volume and it can catch and hold a lot of flies. On the fatal funnel label, it shows being used on 2-liter bottles, but these bottles do not have the volume that you want. You're going to need a half a cup of sugar, a half a cup of apple cider vinegar, a half cup of milk of any kind, but whole works best, some tap water, a tablespoon of dish soap, a bent wire as a hanger, and a place to hang it that is downwind from wherever you're spending time, meaning the wind is blowing away from you and your house toward where this hangs. Do not place this where the wind can blow its scent toward your house. You will hate it. It is death. You can substitute any milk product for the milk, eggnog, cream, cottage cheese, half and half, yogurt, etc. Hey, before we get too far into this, make your bent wire tree hanger beforehand and make sure they fit your jugs before you fill them so that you don't chance a spill while fiddling around making your wire hanger. Okay, next, before you make them, scope out where you want to hang them first. Once you have your bent wire hangers and know where they'll be hanging, then make them. Take the empty plastic milk jug and install 1 fatal funnel as close to the top as you can. Now, in a large bowl or bucket, add about a half a cup of vinegar, a half a cup of sugar, sweet and sour, that's what it's going to be, and a half cup of milk. The dish soap will come in a little bit later. Now, mix it all up till the sugar is dissolved. This is going to take a few minutes. Once it's mixed up and the sugar's dissolved, pour it into the jug from the top. Then take a magic marker. You could have done this before, but I do it right here. Take a magic marker and make a line 2 to 4 inches below the fatal funnel. This is going to be your water line. Now, fill the jug up to that water line. Gently slosh it around to mix up the liquid without spilling it out the fatal funnel. Shoot. I didn't do that. And now put in your tablespoon of soap. I don't put the soap in before this because it just gets too foamy and crazy. Now add your hanger and hang it up in a shady place, like from a tree limb. Some people add a little meat or fat, but it really isn't necessary, as the milk will go sour, then rotten very fast, within a day or two, and make the stink just as good or better. Meat might stink, but it takes a long time to putrefy in water. There are people who make these out of glass jars, but I really don't recommend, because the glass can break, and that's just an unsafe accident, not to mention a stinky accident waiting to happen. Again, use your common sense. Worse is when this gets going, it smells like death. Heck, it is rotten, stinking death. You don't want this breaking, smashing, or spilling anywhere near you. Fatal funnels are made for 2-liter plastic bottles, but I like using them in milk jugs as the space is bigger and I can catch more flies. Remember, once this starts fermenting, do not spill this. The sugar, vinegar, and milk will become a seriously nasty smell of death, which is really a serious fly attractant, and the flies go straight for it. They'll go in, get a taste, and the soap will have removed the water tension so they can't float, and they'll sink and drown. And even if they do try and fly out, the fatal funnel will prevent their escape, and they'll fall in and drown. They will in turn rot, and that will attract even more flies. You might also notice that this can sometimes attract wasps, hornets, and yellow jackets. They'll drown too, but this is not the way to keep their population down, as they're colony insects, and since the ones who found it took dinner and drowned, the colony won't ever know what happened. I have another video on how to kill the entire colony. If you don't know where that is, I'll put a link in the description. Okay, you can fill this back up to the water line as the water evaporates until there are just too many flies in the soup. Many times I gently slosh it around to drown the flies that haven't gone swimming, and then add more water back up to the line. You'll already know that this smells nasty, so just be careful as you jostle it around. All the flies are in the soup. Don't get this stinky liquid on you. When it's too full and you want to get rid of it, be careful. This stuff stinks to high heaven and it doesn't come off easily. Carefully take it down from its limb, gently pull out your fatal funnel, take off the wire hanger if you want, and gently put the jug into a plastic garbage bag and tie the bag shut so it won't spill or leak. Gently set it down in your garbage, and then and only then put the garbage out. Now, I actually set the jug in the garbage on or the day before garbage day so no animals can tip it over, get to it. If it leaks, you'll smell it for a long time, and more flies will be attracted to that smell. Now, there is an easier way than the DIY make-it-yourself traps, and they work really good. But if you want an easy way, you can go down to the store, usually the big box hardware stores, ag supply stores, sometimes even grocery stores have them. They're just commercial trap and toss fly traps. And depending on where you get them, they're $5 to $10. They're really easy and quick to set up. They have a little packet with their own stink, and it stinks right away. It's a rotten death smell. It's easy. You just fill them up with water, mix that up, and hang it up. If you get the round upside down bucket kind that has a funnel, It also has a liquid stink attractant you have to open and squirt in. Note, oh, this is terrible. Wear disposable gloves with this. Do not get this attractant on you. I spilled some on my hand once and I smelled like gagging death. I washed and washed, but it wouldn't come off. I had to wash my hand with pure bleach to stop it from smelling like death. If you buy the bag, which is very common, just open the container, fill it to the line with water, slosh it around a little bit to mix up the powdered attractant. Now, just add your hanger wire and hang it right out on an open limb, a wire, a fence, anywhere out of the reach of children. Keep them filled to the line with water and keep the trap working. If it dries out, toss it, start over. Good luck. I hope this works well for you. And thanks for watching. If you haven't already subscribed, click subscribe and click the button, the bell button icon to be notified when I release new videos. I enjoy making these videos for you. It's what I do. And because of you, I get to have so much fun making videos and helping you. This is Brad from Cougar Ridge Ranch, high in the Uinta Mountains of eastern Utah. Call sign Captain Wingnut. Signing off.